All right, here we go. How are we doing today? Hope everybody's having a great one out there. What is going on, guys? Pretty crazy day in the market already. Beyond Meat up a ton. Opening up 70%. We'll definitely take that, that's for sure. Wow, what a crazy move. It is pulling back at open, though, under $7 a share, but I figured everybody would be loving Beyond Meat today. Had to check it out. Sorry about that. My daughter was going nuts first thing today. What's up, Asen? Be interesting to see, debating on selling my calls right at open or holding throughout the day. I'm really eyeing up that key like $5-ish support. It actually goes just under there to like $4.80, but that seems like a pretty critical range for Beyond Meat. If it does pull back, I'll be watching for it to possibly hold right around there. Of course, pre-market lows from today are, or the pre-market, I'm not going to say it's the low, of course, but the pre-market bottom here, or pre-market bounce, we'll say, right around 580. That'll be on watch. If we end up breaking under that, I think that Beyond will start to push $5 or so, but it might be the case. Everyone might be trying to lock in at open, but we'll see if the buyers can step back in here and try to dip by this bad boy back up. What's up, Iceman? Canal. Outlaw, good morning, Tom. I have a question. The 150 and 200 EMA, is there a big difference? Thank you. Yeah, I mean, there'll be a fair difference. You know, it depends on, like, what time frame you're looking at, but if you're looking at, like, a daily, yeah, there'll be a pretty big difference. Like, you'll hit the 150 more often than the 200, that's for sure. Getting 50 away is quite a bit. I mainly used SMAs in the past, though, Outlaw. Give me 1 second, 1 second. One second. Somebody needs some help. GLD getting stable. Let's see. GLD. 370 bouncing a little bit. Yeah, it does seem like it's starting to find a bit of a base down here. Pretty good setup, yes. All right, so watch the 150 EMA on the daily. Thank you. I would stick to like a 200, probably. I know a lot of people use 200. I don't really look at those, Outlaw, at all. So I would say not to use those, if I was being honest with you, but a lot of people like different things. Good morning, Christian. Good morning, good morning. A lot of craziness. Look at Tessie going wild here. They have earnings tonight. Earnings with Tesla. Beyond Meat pulling back below 580 now. Uh-oh. Watch out for $5 coming up. How have things been, Christian? You've been getting your gains? What's up, Stock Angler? The power of bots said Netflix is cooked. NFLX pulling back down a lot. Look at that earnings move. Big drop down. Still moving at open. Oh, yeah. All right, Beyond Meat. Let's see. 539 keeps going down here. Halted, though, so we'll see how we come after the halt. Should be unhalted around 9:39. At some point within there, within that minute. Let's pull the Mag 7 up here at open, see what we're looking like. The SPY is pulling back a bit down towards 670. Pulling away from 672. Not surprised to see that. That is a major overhead resistance. Definitely not very surprised there. And it's pulling back to generally the low of this range. You know, we've been pulling back to this area a lot on the SPY lately, the past few days. A lot of bounces here. Goog doesn't seem like it'll keep going up, Fab-ass. Let me go look. I usually trade Goog L, but... Oh, wow, it's back above that resistance from yesterday. 253, okay. That's solid to see. Holding well above. I know this was a popular play yesterday. Here's Goog L. Their resistance is very similar. And support. Of course, we're just going Class A to Class C. Yep, Beyond is halted, Potato. 100%. This should be unhalting in about a minute to a minute and a half, though. We'll be watching for it to unhaul here in a second. I'm going to flip around, though. It's up 48%. Definitely at the top of the watch list. You know, DraftKings is having a pretty good day. DraftKings got very low in the short term. Don't know if you guys saw that or not. All right, back to Beyond. We'll watch for it to unhalt. Let's see. This is where everybody might freak out. Watch out. Let's see. All right, here we go. Unhalted. Hopefully some buyers step back in. Little volatility here. But going green on the 1 minute. There's a lot of reasons why it could be Potato. Beyond Meat should have been a volatility halt, I believe. Let me see. Stocks halt a lot, especially volatile ones like this whenever they drop a lot like Beyond Meat was. A lot of volume coming in. I wish that they would report the exact reason for the halt. My word. Got some crazy storms rolling through here. Book map for Beyond's pretty even. Let's see. Not bad, Asen. I think it's smart to lock in some gains and to see if some of the rest of the position can go, like scale out a little bit. I like it. It allows you to cut and then play with some of the house money. Yeah, you're right. The book map is pretty even here. Look at 610. It had to have halted again. No? Did it not halt? Yeah, it did. Now it halted to the upside. That was weird on the book map as the halt happened, I'll tell you. Look at that. My word. Look at the numbers switching over here. Should I sell a covered call for 9? I mean, there's a lot that goes into that potato. I need more info than just that. I'd probably pick a higher strike. $9 might make sense, though. If you have shares and you're willing to lose them for this week, it's not too bad. I'm not sure on the premium there, so... unsubscribed a few of these. What the hell on Bookmap? It jumped up to 300. What the? Obviously, it's glitching out because it's halted, but... go check out some other stocks while that one gets through some stuff, we'll say. Tessie's still right around break even on the day, slightly in the red. Spy's trying to come back here, bouncing a little bit. Squidward, thanks for subscribing. The almighty Squidward has subscribed. I appreciate that. Mr. Squidward. Oh my god. Good thing I tested that sound button with the sound off. Nvidia ripping. Look at that, guys. Breaking out up to 182 today. Good little bounce. It got close to 180 again. Nvidia loves 180. That's been a big support on it the past few weeks. Of course, it broke under there a little bit, but look at all these bounces off 180. Today got very close. We're all Squidward here, Chill says. I had a sound button ready for you, Squidward. It was Mr. Krabs. Although it was, edited. Look at Poet move. Let's so P-E-P-O-E-T. Poet Technologies. 14%, almost 15. Coming back on the daily. My word. Poet looks like it might try to go for a possible breakout of the high. We should be seeing BYND unhalt here in a moment. Yep, any second now. Sometime within the next 60 seconds, it should unhalt. I'm surprised a lot of these news sources aren't posting that it's halting. Man, Beyond Meat was up 1,100% over 4 days. Damn. All right, here we go. There it goes. Unhalted. Everybody wants the fake meat right now. Pulling back slightly. Tangy says, I don't want fake meat. All right, Beyond, let's see if you can hold 580. We get some buyers coming back. Joe Papa would like a stronger pullback. Hey, that's okay. Tangy Man wants the 2-inch Kobe ribeye. Oh, man. All right, Tangy, that'll be $500. Took a loss on QUBT. Let's see. Could you imagine a truck that rolls around serving steak? I don't know if that would be doable, but that would actually be kind of cool. Beyond's wild. Yeah, it is. Wow, came back up. Moved past the unhalting high. It's actually holding up pretty well here. As Steve said, with plastic knives. I know, I was like, how do you do the plating situation? But yeah, my problem, Haya, is like the plates and everything. Cooking the steak, I feel like, would be pretty easy. Breaking steak? That's actually not a bad idea. Not a bad name. BREAK. Thoughts on Microsoft? It was doing very well today. Pulled back a little bit, but I was eyeing it up. The Mag 7 setup looked pretty good with it today. Although it did just start pulling back. Let's see. How's it look on the hourly here? I'm really glad to see it moving higher. A lot of resistance here, but I could see it continuing to be pretty bullish today. I like the way that it opened up and had some good volatility. I think on this pullback, there could be a possible dip buy opportunity. A lot of weird candles on it, I must say. Keep watching out for a lot of crazy moves out there. Good morning. DNUT is trying to break out. Krispy Kreme. Really? 33%? What's up with this? Another short squeeze candidate? Jack in the Box was moving. If J-Box was their ticker, I would laugh. It's Jack, though. Now, Haya, there we go. That's actually not a bad idea. Like a poke stick, yeah. Some toothpicks or something, yeah. We're coming up with business ideas here today. Palantir is really consolidating on the daily chart, guys. Check this out. Look at how much Palantir is consolidating up here. It has been stuck in this overhead zone. I know, like, I'd want it to be bigger than a toothpick, but I don't know what you'd call it. Let's go see Ford. General Motors, these two stocks were doing very well the past couple days. Looks like they slowed down a little bit today. I was kind of eyeing that up, Tangy. It almost looked like a bit of a wedge almost. I don't know how you want to draw it out, but, you know, you can tell it's kind of like one here. If I was just going to, I'd probably go like. Beat me to it, Haya. Do you think it's a good time for puts on Coinbase? Coinbase of all things. Let's see. COIN puts. 5-minute chart. Pulling back a lot, down 3.5%. Let's see the daily. I don't really love it right here. I don't love it. It's down a lot today already, and Coinbase is finding some support. Intraday today, it could keep falling down, but I feel like over the next few days, it's going to be running into a major zone where it's bounced a lot in the past. These zones that I'm circling here are what I'm talking about. I do think that there's a shot that it falls down into this zone, but I'm like watching and waiting to see if it bounces there or not. Intraday today, it's pretty wild how much it's sold off. I think the best course of action would be to like wait to see if it starts to come back and then maybe look at like a opportunity for an entry if it does pop back a little bit. Right now, it's just consolidating really hard, maybe even trying to form a base. Here we go, Beyond Meat. Pulling back. Down to 5.63. Unfortunately, not getting the run going, or the continuation going here. Following a lot of these halts. Following the last halt, it tried to break out a little bit. It broke barely and then pulled right back. Back below 580 again, not the best sign. Keep your eyes on that low of the day. 520. I really like 480 to 5 as a good support, but it is a wild one. There's probably a lot of people looking to take profits here. One moment, guys. One moment, one moment. Something's going on here. All right, sorry about that, guys. Watching Beyond Meat fly around here. The price was fluctuating so much by the time I reviewed and submitted my trade, it wouldn't execute. Yeah, here's Beyond Meat. Looks pretty wild on the book map, you know, pretty flat. The problem is there's a lot of sellers overhead and a lot of buyers, so you know, there's going to be a lot of volatility with Beyond Meat, but this is what it's looking like now. 7.00 has 741,000 sellers stacked up there. I would say a lot of people are probably trying to target 7, it looks like. How many of those sellers on Beyond are people who bought it back in the day? I wish I knew, right? That'd be pretty cool if you could get stats like that. See, like, how long they'd been holding those for. That'd be very interesting. Tesla hit 440, trying to move up. Let's look at Tesla on the book map. I bet 440 was a big buy wall. Oh, yeah. It was. Any recommendations for shares to hold for a couple of days, the Power of Bots said. Any recommendation for shares to hold for a couple days? Just a couple days. Let's see. How's DraftKings doing? I know they've been falling down recently. They're starting to find some support. DraftKings has a pretty good risk-reward here if you were going to look to play it. You could probably set DraftKings up in a way similar to what I'm doing here. It's not the best risk-reward, you know, 1.38 if you entered right here. But you'd stop out just under the recent low and support, close to like 32.40. That's where you'd stop out. Target like 38 to the upside. This one might not be bad for a couple days. Again, you know, for just a couple days, we're probably going to try to find something that has either a good uptrend going to catch in on it, or something that just started bouncing off support. That would be ideal here. Let's see, IREN, FSLR. First Solar is interesting. It had been trying to bounce off support the past couple days. Pretty big range here between like 220 and 225 where support is, but I do like the way in which it bounced. Not my favorite setup ever. I feel like I'd be forcing it a little bit. Possibility though, if you like the setup. These oil stocks starting to come back. I think ZOM could be pretty fire for you. Some either ZOM or Oxy. You know, Oxy had actually been falling off a little bit recently. Get a little pop back for a couple days. That was BP. BP's coming up off the dip a little bit too. Not bad with the oil stocks. Good morning, Demure. Made a small profit on Nvidia. Hey, nice. Nice. Nvidia with a nice pop here. Yeah, the recovery ended up being really strong. We know it got close to 180 this morning. That is a big area for them. They bounce there all the time in the short term. Microsoft looks solid, though, continuing up well. Wow, Microsoft kicking things off today. Pretty solid price action overall. Up only 1%, but we'll take it. Why does ACHR keep tanking even when it has 3 goods this week alone? 3 goods? What do you mean by that? Wow, it really is tanking, isn't it? That is a big move to the downside. Wow, ACHR pulling back under 11. No, Squidward, not really allowed to, actually. Bought the dip on Run today. RUN, let's see. Moving down under $20 on the daily chart. Wow. Yeah, Sunrun pulling back. 18 to 18.10. There we go. I know, Andy. I think of that every time. Oh, yeah. A lot of rules and regs out there, Chase. Check out Tessie. Especially for certain stuff that we're trying to do down the line, so. 450 resistance, very beautiful. A lot of my trading's boring anyways, though. You guys would probably know that. A lot of covered calls, a lot of long holds. Of course, there's always some day trades and etc. mixed in, but for the most part, like to do a lot of stuff to take advantage of premium. Beyond Meat trying to hold its support. BYND bouncing up a little bit. All right, coming back a little, guys. Starting to form a higher low trend here from this morning. Every once in a while, Tony, I do. Normally, I don't. Normally, I just grab shares, and then run them. Capital One. You know, most people never ask about companies like Capital One. That's funny you brought that up, Luke. Yeah, nice. They had a nice earnings move. They look pretty awesome. They're running up into resistance, but I could see the resistance trying to break. I'm a little bit worried because if we look at Capital One, it had a similar earnings run on its last report, and then it pulled back for 2 days before, you know, ultimately uptrending as, you know, the month went on, but that's a slight worry for me there. But overall, it looks like COF is attempting to come up off of this dip and trying to make a run, you know, past the 230 resistance, I would think. Doing very well. Thoughts of buying Netflix now. NFLX. It is dipping. I think that you're a little early to Netflix if you were looking at it in the short term. I think it could dip down a little bit more for you. You know, you could get it at a little bit of a cheaper price. I'm not a Netflix hater, that's for sure. It just broke through support, though, which isn't a good sign on earnings. I would personally wait a little while. The best way to go, you know, is to buy it's the dollar cost average in. Now, if you're talking about a day trade, talking about a scalp or something, yeah, again, I mean, it's been pretty negative. I don't love it back up from this point. Thanks, Luke. Yeah, it's an interesting setup with Capital One for sure. I'd have to look into their earnings a little bit. Let's see. Let's do a little quick look here. Oh, wow, they had a lot of price target adjustments. Oh, wow, that helps too. Hell yeah, Morgan Stanley raised it, Deutsche, Goldman, Jefferies, Wolf, Baird, wow. How are GLD and SLV doing today? Not the best again. Down in the red. Beyond halted again? Oh, wow. Started moving back to the upside. Oh, yeah, we're going to have to watch it close now. What time did it halt? 10:11? All right. 10:16, it should be back, so. Hey, Siri, set an alarm for 9:16. I'm Central Time, so I had to use the Central, but it would be 10:16 Eastern Time. Tesla's pulling back again. Still negative on the day. I thought maybe it would try to bounce off 440 and hold the base, but not looking the best here. Might make a new low of the day. Not good if you were trying to play that base. Apple just bounced off 260 support. Gone are the days of 190 highs. Sorry, guys. Gotta do a quick stretch here. All right. 190 on zero revenue. Yeah, I keep forgetting about that. That's funny. It's true. Zero revenue. Oh, close straight down. This really does remind me of how during COVID, there was so many stocks that might not have even had revenue that were exploding up through the times when COVID was going crazy. Oklo, SMR, a lot of these companies, they remind me of those. Now, they all might not have zero revenue, but still. A little bit too much hype. Microsoft had that nice run going today. Looks like they gave it back, though. Yeah, hit resistance and stopped. Brain says it really does seem like the AI bubble is going to pop. The problem that I've seen with the AI bubble is people have been calling it an AI bubble for a couple years, but I noticed that in the past few months, it has been really pushed a lot more, and it makes sense. It should on halt at 10:16, Mason. I have an alarm set, actually. But yeah, that's, it could be a good thing, Brain. It could be. I personally can't wait for it. Oh, there we go. BYND should unhalt any moment now. I'm not sure of the exact time, but within the few seconds, hopefully. There we go. Unhalted. Initially a bit of red. We'll see. Yep, moving down a little bit. Wow, there we go, Beyond. Good jump higher. 85% plus. Bubble only pops when these companies stop spending, which I'm sure is on next year's budget, Jake said. When are they going to quit doing corporate buybacks, right? Wow, they're trashing Oklo on Wall Street bets. Interesting. I'm surprised they're not buying it. You know how they are. Autumn posted something in the SM chat today. There was a funny headline. It said, Beyond Meat is soaring again. Can the fake meat company turn the meme stock spotlight into a real future? And then it said its core business is still a cash incinerator. Brain says no. Just straight up no. I like it. Yeah, I don't think so. No way. Beyond Meat moving up towards 7. Could you imagine if people like who were trading it started to eat it just because they like, you know, they started to like it or something? Dandy goes, ew. Do you think my 150 put by 116 on open is possible? Did you short it or did you long it? Gosh. By January of this year, I would say that would be pretty hard, but with how much this thing rose from August into September, I mean, it's plausible that it happens by then. I would say no. Oh, you did short it. Oh. Yeah, I don't think you'll get assigned on it, personally. I think you'll just walk away with the premium. Let's see what the market's pricing in on that. I bet that there's a funny one with that. Let's see. Open door, 116. You said $1.50 strike, okay? This will be funny. The market's pricing in a 2 point... Oh, no. I had the wrong one. The market's pricing in a 7.5% chance that that closes in the money. 7.5% chance that that gets in the money on expiration. Actually, more than I thought. I thought it was going to be like 1 or 2%. But I guess that's just because how crazy open door's been. BYND at 7, Mason said. Turning back on Beyond. To infinity and beyond, as Buzz Lightyear says. I didn't realize the whole time he was talking about the meat company. I knew he was from the future, but I get it now. Oh, I shouldn't even say the meat company. The chemical company. No, I'm kidding. Moving up pretty well, though. 94% now on the day. It was up more than that in pre-market, of course, but still. What's your advice on buying leaps in general, Chase said. You know, whenever you're looking at leaps, I generally really like to go at them whenever the market is at a very advantageous point where the timing can be spot on. And now, of course, you're never going to have totally spot on timing every time. You know, that's not really plausible. But what I mean is, like, right now, like, you know, all these stocks are pretty high. Even if we go to, like, some of the biggest stocks in the market, like Microsoft or even Apple, you know, Apple just made a new all-time high. You know, Nvidia, right? Like, a lot of stocks that people love to buy leaps on. You know, generally, what I like to do is wait for some good dip-on opportunities. You know, at the beginning of this year with the April crashes, you know, there were some decent opportunities for leaps. Coming off of 2022, decent opportunities for leaps in my eyes. Now, you can always get into leaps on uptrends as well. Generally, though, I don't like to because, you know, if we do start to turn over a little bit, you can get hurt pretty bad. Now, it depends on your expiration. It depends on your strikes, what stock you're looking at. So, you know, there's so many differences between each stock. But I would say generally with leaps, you're going to want to time up something where the stock is probably closer to like a short-term bottom. And I generally only like to do it on stocks that are, you know, pretty healthy, right? Like something like Nvidia or, you know, Apple, Microsoft, maybe even stuff like Coca-Cola. You know, it doesn't always have to be a crazy stock out there, but like Amazon maybe, you know, there's certain opportunities like that where I like it, and then of course there's opportunities where you can get hurt pretty bad. Like if a lot of people think that, you know, Beyond Meat is going to keep going, and then they start buying leaps there, and then Beyond Meat turns over right away, I mean, you know, you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot, you know, just doing it totally wrong in my eyes. But yeah, I would definitely try to snipe some supports. Veggie straws. I bet Beyond investor relations team just sits around and monitors, chanting every time it hits a new high, all while munching on their veggie straws. Oh my gosh. He says, by the time I log into Discord, Beyond's gonna crash. What? I'm looking at PayPal calls potentially right now, Chase says. Let's see, PYPL. Like the way PayPal bounced around 68.50 to 68.60. That's nice to see. Good intraday action. They said potentially right now. The daily looks rough. Tough one with PayPal here. I don't love this resistance coming up around 69.50 to 69.40. Be wary of that. I think it could end up rejecting there. If you do take calls here, you know, you might want to take profits fairly fast up there. Weird day on the daily chart, though. PayPal has been in a bit of a weird setup lately. We just had 3 good green days in a row, too, so don't be surprised if today goes more red than green. The uptrends could continue on the daily, but I would not be surprised to see like 1 or 2 red days before we get the pop. Halloween is almost here. I have some questions for you guys. I wanted to see if you could help me out a little bit. What's a good projector? Like, what's a good projector to buy? Laser projector. What? Check on Linus Tech Tips. Yeah, that's not a bad idea, you know. Linus. Palantir pulling back, guys. Look at that. 180 broke down today. Palantir started really selling off intraday. My gosh. Down 2.7% now. Look at the daily. Turned over a bit more. Wow, not the best action here. That is rough. BYND, Mason has 1,000 at 3.25. There we go. Ha. Get to 10, that'd be nice. He says, I won't be mad when it hits 10, I'll just be upset. Wow, it's still going here. I like Palantir's downside action today. Watch out. Apple pulling back to 260. It used to use this 259 to 260 range as resistance, so watch it for a potential bounce if we start to test this pretty hardly today. Might see an attempt at a comeback. Hood is selling off good finally. Yeah, similar to Palantir's setup today. Wow. Worse though, 5.6%. Yeah, I like how you added finally. That's funny. Do you think Tesla beats earnings? I was actually just about to put out a poll for that. That's funny. Yeah. All right. Will Tesla beat earnings and move higher? All right, vote it up. There's 4 possible answers here for Tesla's earnings tonight. Very curious what you guys are thinking here. Where is my earnings tab? 1 second. Let me get earnings up really quick in the background. There we go. Tesla there, after hours tonight. Get ready. What do you think? I think you guys will like my poll today too. Because we even have it where you could beat earnings and have negative price action. Or you can beat earnings and run higher. Miss on earnings and fall is winning the current vote. Man, intraday, Tesla is dropping, though. BYND hit $7.69. Started to slow up slightly, but overall, great movement. You're out of here, Demir says. Need my breakfast. Sounds good, man. Have a great day. Have a great one. Glad to hear you had some good NVIDIA action at open there. They said, why is the Mag 7 dropping, though? Let's see. Let's pull up the Mag 7 setup. Microsoft was pretty good today, but they are all kind of falling off at the same time, aren't they? I'm not seeing anything right now that necessarily shows this. Yeah, I'm not seeing much here as of any real catalyst. Keep in mind, Netflix had some bad earnings yesterday. That could be rolling over. Meta laid off 600 employees within their AI unit. Wow. That's a wild one. Netflix shares drop after streamer misses earnings estimates citing Brazilian tax disputes. I know that was the big headline, but those tax disputes are really what was crazy. I think it was like $690 million they had to pay to settle that. Bit strange. Go back to BYND. Everybody's favorite today. In pullback mode. This is not a good sign. Not a good sign intraday. It's not the worst. It doesn't mean it can't keep going up, but it's definitely not the best sign intraday. Internet was out for 4 hours last night, so you watched The Big Short for the 10th time. Now that's fun. Let's go see Meta. Bouncing a little bit off 731. Sorry, guys. Helping somebody out. Such a great movie, Brain said. Yeah, The Big Short's a fire movie. Like that one quite a bit. My quant. You guys know that. Yang, where's Hunter? I know, I was just thinking about that. It's funny. Palantir down even more now. Just broke through 175. Wow. Wow, that's a brutal drop. Palantir through 175. Pulling back pretty harshly here. The XME big money play gave you 100% returns. There we go. Any news on why the pullback, but maybe just be profit taking? It could be. It could be. Are you talking about specifically on BYND, or are you talking about on the overall market? Probably the SPY. Now keep in mind, with the SPY, we're on a major resistance. SPY is actually still under our trend line. Don't forget. We had a good trend of higher lows a couple weeks ago, or last week even, and now that broke down last week on Thursday. Friday came back. This week, we've done nothing but consolidate up here. Watch out. I think that the market has a good shot to continue to turn over here. Personally, that's how I'm looking for it to go. You know, if it surprises me and we just start ripping through all-time highs, hey, maybe adjust as a scalper. You know, you'll be adjusting then, hopefully, or else, well, right? Hopefully you're adjusting, right? Don't want to get stuck in a bearish mindset if SPY's blasting out the new highs here. But so far, it's held this resistance very, very well. I personally didn't see any news that was something that made me really jump up and go, oh my gosh, this is why the market's falling today. I haven't really seen anything that did that to me. Although I just have to say, I think things are getting a little bit crazy. You know, we're looking at the shutdown. Obviously, they keep saying that the shutdown could end soon. I mean, does anyone really believe that? It doesn't seem like it's ever going to stop here. They're pricing in 40.3 days right now. It's definitely down a little bit from 44 days, which it priced in earlier this week, but everything all good with the connection here, guys? All right, BYND. Still pulling back. BYND's trying to hold support here, but it's not looking great. Well, as I said that, it actually broke through that small support. Mr. Charles said, wait, so why did SPY tank? There doesn't always have to be a total reason, guys. Everybody acts like there has to be some big, like, news event or some huge reason why things go down. Guys, sometimes there's just selling pressure that comes in. People take profits. You know, like right now, the SPY has been touching a key resistance. That's why it's going down. I think people are like, okay, there's too much crap going on. I am taking profits. We're within $2 of all-time highs. Why not? Right? Why not? If China gets bad this week or something, it'll be fine. I think people are also scared of the AI bubble. You know, it's too many stocks, too high in the short term. Tangy Man said it best. There's more sellers than buyers. That's ultimately why the market goes down anytime it drops. Of course, you know, sometimes there's news that really pushes it. A lot of the times, but sometimes, like whenever you're left confused like this, you can look and go, okay, we're not seeing any news, but we are seeing the market set up in a weird way. There's solid resistance, and of course, just selling is going to naturally happen sometimes. Even if, like, we look at an hourly chart during SPY's big recovery this year, I mean, there's always times where SPY is going to sell down and then, you know, maybe still continue the trend as time goes forward, but that's just what the market does. But I really like breaking through 669.50 here. That's a big support to break through. I am also scanning the news to see if anything new comes out. If we get anything, you know, crazy hitting. Four minutes ago, we got a Fitch update. Yeah, I'm just looking at the article. Nothing too crazy that I saw there. Oh my gosh. Brain just threw this in the discussion channel. Yeah, no problem, Mr. Charles. We appreciate it. He's the old guy who just watched this movie before. That's funny. There is a GIF for it. Oh yeah, there it is. Here it is, guys. Now he put up the good one. I still can't believe this guy did this on TV. He probably cheated and put water in there. I saw a post where The Simpsons predicted a huge red day on October 23rd, 2025. What? You know, Mason, I've seen a lot of fake stuff with The Simpsons with that stuff, so be a little careful. I'm not saying that one is fake, but... Spam juice. Ew, brain. Ow for Tesla. Yeah, SPY and Tesla pulling back hard. Remember, Tesla was at pretty big resistance in the short term, close to 450. It does have a little higher low trend in the short term. We'll see if it can hold this range and bounce with earnings. If not, it's probably going to turn over pretty hard. Hopefully they have some good reports, some good numbers here. Low-key back now. How is Beyond? Who would ever make an omelet with seltzer? I know, that sounds terrible. I'm holding Tesla and sleep well, Coconut said. Hey, nice. I don't know what your prices are, but... An idiot. How high could Beyond go considering the growth of previous meme and Wall Street bets pumps? My gosh, I wish that I could give you a good answer there, Canal. It's wild with these setups, you know, they can go up quite a bit. It's really impossible to give you a number, though, I'm being honest. If any, you know, I could just totally guess. But if we go to other pumps like, you know, AMC or GameStop or something like that, you know, AMC went from $12 a share up to $400. Let's see the percentage there. Like 3,600%. All right, Beyond Meat. Already at 1,400. So if it hit 3,600%, that puts it around like $18 or so. $18.50. So interesting. Yeah, I'm not sure there. With these types of setups, it's really all about just insane momentum. How long is the craziness and the euphoria going to really stick around? How long, right? There's a lot of euphoria with this stock right now. It's obviously still there. It's not all gone yet. That could change tomorrow morning. See, that's the problem. So if you keep holding it, it's going to be a bit risky, but it's high risk with high reward with this one. You know what's not selling off? CWEN. Clearway Energy. I guess technically it's not selling off. It's Ken Griffin buying is all you need to know for Beyond. Yeah, watch out, guys. There might be some real volatility, like where this one could continue for a few days, so you're just gonna have to hold through a lot of volatility, a lot of back and forth. Be willing to, you know, kind of let it go. He might take away the sell button. That would be pretty funny. That would be funny. Take away the sell button this time. Oh, yeah. Still looking at self-storage, huh? Tansy Man's naming the weirdest stocks here. I know we talked about this one before. McDonald's is doing pretty good today. MCD, another good jump. Mickey D is 1.2%. McDonald's. Monster Energy, MNST moving too. All right, guys, quick intermission. I'm going to go grab a water really fast. Be right back. All right. Sorry about that, guys. Quick intermission. Oklo's starting to look good again. Any luck with quantum stocks? I thought they were fun on the way up. I had a couple of good trades on the way up with these stocks. You know, I like the way that they've been moving. Thought that they performed pretty well, but Nonetheless, as we go forward, they are turning over very harshly right now. I would have a lot of caution. I haven't been in for a long time, of course. How's Rigetti? RGTI turning over quite hard as well. I will say, though, as they drop and they start to fall quite a bit, some of these might end up providing good dip buying opportunities. I'm not saying yet. I think that there could be a long way to go, but there could be. Jake said UUUU is like the only metal that's up. If you guys are listening in right now, vote up on the poll. This is one of the closest polls that we've ever ran here on the channel. 3 answers are essentially tied right now. Beat earnings and run higher. Beat earnings and have negative PA. Or miss earnings and falls. All 3 are looking great here. Mr. Charles, shout out to Oklo. OKLO, nice. Bouncing off 118. Starting to move higher here. It's a good jump. 118, 120. Oh, yeah, holding really well. RGTI is having some huge jumps. Yeah, decent bounce backs, I guess we'd say. One moment, guys. Beyond Meat. All right. QUBT also, there's something happening. As Beyond Meat falls over, Quantum come back alive. Not seeing any crazy news here. Uh-oh. I did find crazy news, guys. I lied. Here we go. I'll throw it up in just a second. Boom. Google. Google unveils quantum computing breakthrough with Willow chip. GOOGL popping back. Google might make a new all-time high here with that news. Get ready. Yeah, there definitely was something happening this time. That news literally just hit the headlines, too. Some of those stocks were actually moving before I saw the news. It was only like a 60 seconds beforehand, but still. At least before I saw it hit. It says beginning next year, General Motors vehicles will feature conversational AI with Google's Gemini. They also plan to bring eyes-off driving to the market in 2028, debuting on the Cadillac Escalade IQ electric SUV. Why did there have to be all the electric ones, man? So now if you buy a Corvette, you can talk to your Google Gemini. Could you imagine that? It'd be pretty cool if it was like Knight Rider. It's like you get in and it goes, "Hello, Tom. Would you like sport mode today?" Or something. I don't know what it would ask. Until AWS goes down, you're stuck on the expressway. That's a good one, Jake. That is a good one, considering all that going on lately. That is funny. GM started to move a little bit there, nothing too crazy. Google unfortunately hit resistance and slowed down. Dang, I've had that resistance plotted for a few days too. Unfortunate drop there. My car says the Bluetooth is ready to pair, Coconut said. Brain said that show was so cool at the same time. But if you rewatch it, it's just hilariously cringe. I haven't ever seen it. It has, like, David Hasselhoff, right? Oh, man, it halted again. Beyond halted, Brain. On the crash and the pullback. Ah, sheesh. It's a bit brutal there. Get Microsoft Bookmap for someone. All right, halt. Maybe you can save it. Maybe the halt will stop it from crashing. Come on, buyers. Let's go. Looking at this news on Thinkorswim, SEC Chair Paul Atkins. Let's see. I want to see what this guy has to say.
Are you watching shares of Beyond Meat? price action this morning, but it's pretty crazy, and it's being added to the whole meme stock.
He's like, no.
Are you watching shares of Beyond Meat? Price action this morning, but it's pretty crazy, and it's being added to the whole meme stock. I think it's part of the official meme stock Roundhill ETF now. What goes on in your mind or at the SEC when you see crazy moves like this?
Well, you know, the market's going to do what it's going to do, and so when people can...
All right, one sec. This video player is awful. Give me one moment here. I have it somewhere else. Just give me one moment. Wow, they didn't even talk about it on the actual YouTube page. That makes me upset. All right, I guess we have to watch it on this crappy video player thing. All right, one second. Sorry, guys. It unhalted, though. Moving down on the right side of the screen there.
Are you watching shares of Beyond Meat? Price action this morning, but it's pretty crazy, and it's being added to the whole meme stock. I think it's part of the official meme stock Roundhill ETF now. What goes on in your mind or at the SEC when you see crazy moves like this?
Well, you know, the market's going to do what it's going to do, and so when people can focus on things that they want to invest in, what we're concerned about is manipulative behavior. And so here, even during the shutdown, as we conduct our surveillance of the marketplace, we have stopped trading on 8 foreign companies on NASDAQ that showed indicia of manipulative behavior, ramp and dump we call it, and so those have been shut down. So we are monitoring the market for the behavior that indicates, you know, hanky-panky going on in the marketplace.
Hanky
So are you high alert? Alert right now that meme trading is back on?
Well, I think we're doing our normal surveillance, and so we have people who are devoted to that. That's part of our law enforcement effort, but we will continue to monitor and take the information that we collect from the marketplace, analyze it, and then make decisions based on that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess what do you typically look for there? Is it pump and dump? Is it not disclosing information from people about their positions?
Well, I mean, the main thing is when you're looking at trading, you know, if there is like no news about a company and then suddenly there's a ramp up or a real pump up in the price that's inexplicable, then we start looking at that. That's one example. And then others, you know, around announcements of companies where there's anomalous trading and that sort of thing, where there's indications of leakage or trading on inside information. That's another type of thing. So we have a lot of different tools that we can use to analyze this, and we work closely with the self-regulatory organizations, the exchanges, and so forth, because they are the immediate ones looking at their markets and doing surveillance over that.
Okay. Did it freeze again, or is it done? I think it froze, but okay. Either way, I gotta say, hanky-panky. That's the main point I got from that whole conversation. No, seriously though, it sounds like they're looking at this situation quite hard with Beyond Meat. Looking at a lot of regulatory concerns, you know, different things of that nature. A lot of hanky-panky. My gosh. I can't even believe he used that term on there. That is funny. I'm going to use that on the nightly video tonight. We're getting dumber listening to these guys, Jake said. I know, and that's the chairman of the SEC. I wish he would have talked more about it besides just talking about concerns of pump and dump and, you know, things of manipulation. Wish he would have talked more about it, but... My Beyond Meat likes the hanky-panky, Coconut says. Malarkey, yeah. That's a better term. Really? Losing Better said Madonna had a song called Hanky Panky. What? That's funny. Never heard of that one. The SEC chair. The market's gonna do what it's gonna do. That's pretty funny. Understatement of the century, Chase says. That's good. All right. Beyond Meat trying to bounce off 580, guys. That was my first big support from today. It fell under there earlier, but it is bouncing again there. Not bad, not bad. It was in the 90s. That is funny. A lot of craziness out there. Let's see Oklo here. Maybe trying to form a base. Let's see. Yeah, it looks like Oklo is trying to form some higher lows off that bottom. Maybe trying to form a base. Let us pray. Subscribe. 70 to go till we get Jersey Mike's, Chase says. Yeah, sub it up, guys. Helps us out a lot. Thank you, Squidward, Josh, and Matt for subscribing today. I'm sure glad I hit the sell button so much yesterday. Sheesh. Nice, Tangy. What were you taking profits on? I can't remember. What was one of the big ones that you named? You had some crazy ones, I remember. Ooh, I remember someone was talking about AV in the short term. Starting to get hurt. I think it was Yvonne. Yeah, AV is pulling back pretty hard. Be wary for a larger pullback to happen here. BTG was one of the big ones, I remember. CLSK, yep. Ooh. CLSK might turn over quite a bit. Oh, you sold some Big Bear, okay. GPRO's doing good today. WGO, Winnebago. Winnebago. Adobe's back. ADBE. Coming back alive. There we go. Beautiful. 359 breakout towards 360. That's a nice intraday move. Glad to see that for Adobe. Nice. I guess as people are less and less able to afford rent, they're moving into van life. You know, I've been watching this guy on YouTube who travels around. His name is Mav. M-A-V. Maverick. He travels around in like these old Toyotas and custom-made things and goes camping at wild places and a lot of crazy stuff. Whoa, SPY, what happened? Pulling back very hard. Chase is loving it. Ryan likes the spooky music. Yeah, I was turning... I'm trying to make sure I find some good spooky music for us here. On Halloween, we're going to have a fun stream. We'll be having some good music that day. SPY pulling back quite hard, Mason. Might make a new low of the day here. Watch out, guys. Watch SPY to the downside. Beyond Meat selling down. Man, we are at new lows from open with Beyond Meat. $5.15, unfortunately. For all the longs, it is not playing that way at the moment. Watch out for the big support, though. The big support in my eyes is down around 480 to 475. This is a big range. I accidentally just called somebody. I pocket dialed them. I don't know if you guys heard that. Rebellious, but not quite. Beyond halted again. Oh, gosh. Selling your house now to buy Beyond Meat. Oh no. Don't do that, guys. I can't believe some people were doing that type of stuff with GameStop. Should be unhalted in just a minute or so. Just a minute or so here. Oh, I'm lagging like crazy. Beyond's halted for the 5th time, just unhalted. I was waiting for the unhalt, and there it comes. Ooh, Intel's a tough one, Canal. I'm definitely looking at it more to the upside, but, you know, it's earnings, right? You never know with earnings. You never know. It's a coin flip. I lean up with all their positives lately, but... yeah, it's selling off like crazy and still up a ton. Like Mason said, it's still up 46%, even with all this selling pressure coming in. Crazy, isn't it? All right, here we go. My first support's touching. Well, not my first one, but my second one. My main one here, 475 to 480. This is a big zone. I got another one at 450 and another one at 430. This is a pretty big range for Beyond. Keep in mind, though, it's such a crazy stock. I'm not saying it's going to bounce by any means, but it's crazy. I think it just halted again. No shot. Did it really just halt again? Wow, look at that. volume coming in. One of the biggest volume moves of the day just happened, and it halted again. Yeah, that's crazy. Cannot believe it's halted again like this. That is rough. I know halts generally piss people off from what I've seen. A lot of people don't really like the halts, but they help sometimes if, you know, a stock is starting to crash down and die. Sometimes it can help keep it from imploding, so to say. Oh no, Brain. No rumors. No rumors like that. Oh no. That's all we need is a lawsuit. How much of this bot is bots right now? Usually around this time they're done, Jake said. There's probably a ton of algos and eyes on Beyond right now with how crazy it is. There's probably a lot of ways that these algorithms and market makers are trying to take advantage of a lot of people. But all right, guys, we got to run. I hope everybody has a great rest of their day. It's been crazy out here with Beyond with all the halts. Unfortunately, it's falling down, or fortunately, if that's how you're leaning. But nonetheless, it's been a fun morning here. Appreciate you guys. Don't forget, tonight is the live Q&A. Check out the link I'm sending in the chat. Check out the trading floor. There's code Big Money, which will save you on the yearly plan right now. Let's go. Yeah, I was just about to end that. The poll started to shift a little bit. Beat earnings and run higher has won the poll. 39%. Thank you to all the voters. 62 votes. Quite a pretty big poll. Take care, Jake. Take care. But yeah, have a great one, guys. And gals out there. It's Wednesday. So after today, there's 2 trading days left. Don't forget, Friday, we are going to have the CPI data releasing 1 hour before the market opens. That will be a big data point for the market. If it shows inflation jumping, that could be a slight negative. Now, on the other side of things, we have earnings. Yes, earnings season. We're in full swing. Tesla tonight in after hours. Be ready. That's what the result of the poll was showing, that Tesla would beat earnings and run higher. Although, you know, keep in mind, just because that won the poll doesn't mean it's going to happen. But all right, let's go. Have a great one, guys. I will see you later.